Are you ready to stop those negative, obsessive thoughts from draining mental energy that could be used for creativity or for manifesting more positivity in your life? I am living proof that you can retrain your brain to follow healthy thought patterns and in turn become a happier person. If you'd like to move in that same direction, let's get to it right now. Here's what to expect in this video. First, we'll identify some common negative thought patterns. Second, we'll go over ways to shift our minds to a more positive focus. Third, we'll learn ways to quick dissolve those pesky negative thoughts that just won't stop tormenting us. So, our first step is to recognize negative thought patterns. Here are a couple to look out for. The first is shame talk, where we berate, question, and punish ourselves for things we've done or things we've failed to do. We second guess ourselves and we fear the ways we are certain to fail in the future. Sound familiar? Very similar to shame talk is something I call the obsessive conversation rehearsal. A colleague says something rude to you at work, you say something back to them, but it's not quite what you wish you'd said, so you go home thinking about it, and you keep thinking about it, and you keep thinking about it. You rehearse what you should have said, what you're going to say, but then you keep changing it and adding to it and revising it, and ultimately you probably won't ever even say it at all. Or you'll compose an angry email and wait for the fallout. Now, I'm not saying that if your colleague is out of line, you should ignore it, but admit it. Our brains overkill everything all the time. And it's not just with the comment from the colleague or the shame talk, but with 1,000 other topics and scenarios. Now remember, the goal here is to preserve our mental energy because mental energy is more valuable than gold. And your colleague doesn't get to have yours just because he or she was a jerk. So, here are some quick mental interventions that over time with patience and perseverance can begin to change the way your mind works and help you maintain a more positive focus. First off, if something is tormenting your brain, it possibly does need some of your attention. Ignoring it isn't necessarily going to make it disappear. So here's what I do. I get a pad of paper, my journal, a Google Doc, whatever, and I sit down with the goal of getting clarity. I ask myself, what is the best way to handle this problem? I trust my instincts. I trust what I know is right, and then I jot down a quick plan. Maybe I write down the 3 main things I want to tell my colleague, and I figure out when I will do it. And then I do my very best to put it on a shelf until it's time to enact the plan. However, if your brain still insists on having these obsessive thoughts, it's time for an intervention. Your brain needs redirection, a positive focus that makes you feel good, something that preserves and generates energy. This process works best if you can find a quiet place to sit and close your eyes for at least 5 to 10 minutes, and if you can do it routinely at least once a day. Positive focus number 1. Imagine a place that makes you feel safe. My go-to place is an actual spot that I like to hike to next to a calming creek with a soothing waterfall. When I visualize myself sitting there on my favorite rock, I feel calm, safe, peaceful, and in sync with nature. Whenever I'm stressed, I go there in my mind, and the key is to try to actually feel the way I feel when I'm there. Positive focus number 2. Choose an animal to become and visualize being it. Not as crazy as it seems, and the Native Americans would agree. I happen to be drawn to a wise, calm, no-nonsense wolf. When I'm feeling unsafe from rampant negative thoughts, I envision being a wolf spirit, and it calms me. And by the way, a wolf wouldn't have obsessive thoughts about what to say to her colleague. Positive focus number 3. Picture yourself in a cozy, secure cocoon, surrounded by whomever or whatever makes you feel safe. Angels? A watchdog? An ancient grandmother? God? And when you are in your safe cocoon, no negative thoughts or people are allowed to come in. Positive focus number 4. If your brain is really being neurotic, insisting on relentlessly taking you back to your negative thought cycle, you may need to follow a process I discuss in my video called 5 Panic Attack Stoppers. The process is called naming, where you bring yourself entirely into the present moment by naming everything you do. Stepping outside, turning on this faucet, watering my flowers, speaking into this camera. Just keep forcing your brain to name your actions until you can ground yourself in reality. Now, once you have begun to redirect your mental focus, you will still need methods for quick dissolving those pesky energy-draining thoughts that keep wanting to show up because they don't always subside so easily. With time, their power will diminish, but in the beginning, you may need some extra help. So, here are some stop interventions that have worked very well for me. Negative thought stopper number 1, the poof and dissolve. When negative thoughts are dive bombing you, picture them exploding like a firework. Poof, and then dissolving into dust. Then repeat and repeat and repeat as needed. Poof. Negative thought stopper number 2. Picture yourself holding up your hand and say either stop or don't. I have done this so often now that I've literally trained my brain the same way you would train a dog when you say, leave it. Negative thought stopper number 3. Picture rain falling on your head or shower water, and the water is washing away all negative thoughts, leaving a clean, healthy, positive functioning brain. When the negative thoughts come back, just turn on the shower again. Sometimes I actually do this in the shower. Change doesn't happen overnight, but if you stay consistent and keep practicing, you'll not only be a survivor of your own sanity, you will stop exhausting yourself by wasting this phenomenal brain energy that we've all been given for the purpose of creating and living our best lives. I hope these strategies help set you on a more positive path. If you have some of your own mental interventions which have helped you with your obsessive thinking, please share them in our comment section. It could be just the thing one of our viewers needs to hear. Also, check out our website, speakbravely.com, where viewers share survival stories and help each other heal. And if you'd like to hear more videos like this one, subscribe to our channel. There's more to come. And now, I leave you with a moment in nature, as I do with all of my videos, to honor and remember its healing power. May you find peace and take care.